Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great one so far. We're discussing all kinds of news today, including this top-level discussion about why the Federal Reserve is basically outdated. Its policy very much favors the rich. Then we have great news out of the United Nations. They have adopted Cardano's Project Catalyst in a new partnership with IOHK. We'll be discussing that. We'll be discussing SingularityNET, which is migrating to Cardano as well. All kinds of different updates with Plutus. Pluton PLU is the ticker. We're discussing their liquidity injection program and specifically the vote results that have come back now. Actually, they've been around for a couple of weeks. We'll be covering that. Harmony is now building trustless bridges to Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll take a look at that. We'll also discuss Unibright on Coinbase custody. A lot is happening, guys. And of course, if you like this kind of content, Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency, you got to be sure to like and subscribe. Let's kick things off with a look at the markets on CoinGecko.com. We're up a little bit, up modestly, 1.9% on the day, up to $354.3 billion here on CoinGecko. Bitcoin up 1.1% in these last 24 hours. Nothing too meteoric. As you can see here, we do have a couple of, I suppose, in the top 10 leaders and winners in the form of Polkadot up 5.2% and Chainlink up 4.1%. Cardano also doing respectably well, up ahead of the market 2.8%. Bitcoin right now $10,868 with a dominance that's falling ever so slightly, 56.8%. All right, let's kick things off with a little bit of levity here. Dave at Red Pill Blue One just checked my Vision Crypto app portfolio and it's green. You got to celebrate the small victories, guys. And it's not every day that things are green. So even if the market is up only 1 or 2%, hey, take those small victories and celebrate, right? Just wanted to kind of inject a little bit of optimism at the outset here. So there you go. Now let's talk about at a macro level, the Federal Reserve. We've always kind of brought them up. I'd say it's an ongoing theme here on the channel, but this is a good article here that argues that its policy is flawed in that it favors the ultra wealthy of the world while not really looking out for the smaller fish out there, people like you and me most likely. So you guys likely know my opinion, and more broadly speaking, the opinion of the channel here is that we're not really big fans of debt-based economic or monetary policies, and really the last 10 years of the Federal Reserve's policy with very near zero interest rates has been what they call here in the article an easy monetary policy. And more recently, to prop up companies during this time of recession and quarantine, we're entering into a new phase that they're dubbing even easier monetary policy. They make the reference to zombie corporations, really, that are just injected with capital to stay afloat, regardless of whether or not productivity is high. We're just doing everything that we can right now to keep the system going. But here's an interesting stat. Since the March 2020 crash, the S&P 500 has risen 38%. So this is all within 2020, while the top 5 market cap tech companies, those are Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, or FMAGA, now make up 23% of the broad market index. That is a huge chunk, nearly a quarter. The point being made here is that the leaders of those companies have amassed incredible and just astounding fortunes, while small and medium-sized businesses, many of them have been forced to shut down permanently, unfortunately, based on everything that's happening right now. And therefore, the argument is that the Federal Reserve policy is helping the rich more than anybody. I think it's a bit of a sophomoric argument, to be candid with you, and I'm just giving you my opinion here, but I think no matter what the Fed does, if the Fed offers negative interest rates, if they offer all-time high interest rates, I think those top companies are still going to continue to perform relatively well versus the others that'll be suffering. I think it's more a function of their size and their market dominance than a function of anything that the Fed does. So I think this is perhaps a biased article here from the get-go. Nevertheless, they make some interesting points, and it's not to say I'm on the side of the Federal Reserve, but I think there are just more variables here that ought to be considered. Here's an interesting excerpt that I'd like to share before moving on. Grading the Federal Reserve. Financial policy manipulation from the Fed is probably not the right answer to solve the problems faced by most of the country, as much of the problems were both created by easy monetary policy in the first place and by local rules regarding business restriction and shutdowns. The Fed seems to be judging itself by how well the stock market performs. That's an excellent point. But equity prices typically better correlate with inflation than most other assets. So do you guys agree with this? Do you guys think that this is the ultimate metric of how the country, talking about the United States, is doing financially? I get that there's a trickle-down effect. I get that if the stock market performs well, if Wall Street performs well, if the corporations perform well, that means there's more jobs, there's more liquidity in the economy, there's more money being injected elsewhere. So that is an argument that to a certain extent I can warm up to, but it shouldn't be the only metric. Let me know how you guys think about that. Let's talk about something else that's very important as well, inflation. It's easy to create if you have the power to create more money and buy an unlimited amount of financial assets with that created money. Now we're getting into Peter Schiff territory. Oh boy. By the standard of higher equity markets, the Fed has done an A-plus job. By the standard of wealth creation or even basic economic needs of working class, retired, soon to be retired, or unemployed people, the Fed has failed. And it is a very Peter Schiffian, if to coin the term, argument that we're only really kicking the can down the road when it comes to inflation, when it comes to this record-breaking quantitative easing that we've now entered. It's a very short-term and a very myopic strategy. At the end of the day, we're going to have to pay the piper in one form or another. And ultimately, that probably does bode well for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain, but it does raise some eyebrows here, and it's the kind of thing that I think requires a deeper discussion. Let me know, guys, if you'd be interested in more macroeconomic, more fiscal policy content in our videos. Obviously, that overlaps with the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. We kind of cover it when it's relevant to a certain extent. It's always relevant, really, to be honest with you guys, but let me know your thoughts about not only this piece here, but about that general question as to whether or not you'd like this kind of stuff featured more prominently in our videos. Let us know in the comments below. Okay, moving right along to some very good news here on heraldsheets.com. United Nations, the UN, has adopted Cardano's Project Catalyst in a new partnership with IOHK. So according to the latest report, IOHK, the tech firm behind the development of Cardano, it's led, of course, by Charles Hoskinson. Check out our interview with him on the channel. Leia interviewed him for about a half an hour or so. You can find that in our video catalog. They are collaborating with the United Nations, none other than the UN, for its 75th anniversary. And this latest development was passed across to the community members via the official Twitter handle of IOHK. According to the report, the partnership will leverage the functionalities of Cardano's Project Catalyst, especially in voting on proposals that meet the standard of United Nations development goals. Here's the tweet itself at Input Output HK from the 30th of September, so just yesterday. We're thrilled to announce that IOHK is collaborating with the United Nations for its 75th anniversary. Project Catalyst will be used to vote on proposals which meet the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Join the Blockchain for Social Good Challenge here at cardano.ideascale.com. And as you can see, there's a modest uptick in price. It's not probably as much as I would have expected, but Cardano is sitting right now at just over 10 cents, up 2.7%, which again is a little bit modest, I would say, given the news, but that does beat the market. Again, as a reminder, the market is up only 1.9%. So people are, at least to some extent, at least to some degree, encouraged by this news with Cardano. It keeps getting better here at Cardanians IO. Dr. Ben Goertzel, CEO of the SingularityNET, said, quote, "The transition of SingularityNET onto modern blockchains such as Cardano is a clear route to achieving scale and speed. There are clear and obvious reasons why a part of SingularityNET will migrate to Cardano." And you can read more about that here on blog.singularitynet.io. SingularityNET collaborates with IOHK to explore Cardano and AGI synergies. In brief here, SingularityNET is extremely excited to announce our collaboration with IOHK, a company, of course, led by Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson, and driving forward the engineering and development of the Cardano blockchain. Cardano's ADA token is currently the number 6 cryptocurrency globally in terms of market cap. It may have slipped a little bit since the time of press. However, it's still up there. And the Cardano ecosystem is entering a period of rapid growth due to the expected near future launch of a number of key features such as the Plutus smart contract framework. A lot is happening with Cardano, guys. We know many of you out there in the altcoin buzz army are big ADA devotees, and for good reason. Check out this article in full. Lots of good news happening today, and likely in the days ahead we'll be discussing some of that Plutus news as well, but be sure to check this out. We'll link to it in the description below. So without any further ado here, let's now discuss PLU. So Plutus PLU Liquidity Injection Program. This is from a couple of weeks ago, actually, but we want to cover it now because we haven't done anything dedicated on the subject. Blackbeard here at crypto_BLK Beard on Twitter. I already talked about PLU a few days and weeks ago, and now they are dropping some bombs. Here are some of them. 5 exchange listings in the coming months, 3 Tier 3, 1 Tier 2, and 2 Tier 1 exchanges. Marketing efforts are upticking. Further development is upticking, and new bank banking features are also being offered here. 20 million, more than 20 million supply. Take a look at the roadmap here, which is part of the tweet. Some major market expansions are happening also next year in 2021. So launching in Asia in next year, launching in Latin America next year, and a banking license is likely to come somewhere in 2022. So those are certainly major milestones to look forward to. At Plutus here on Twitter, straight from the horse's mouth, centralized exchanges and most crypto services have the unfortunate problem of price manipulation and service outages. Our non-custodial crypto fiat DEX was uniquely designed to circumvent such issues. Not your keys, not your crypto. Hashtag Plutus DEX, decentralized exchange. And Plutus doing very well here. Caveat, it is further down in the ranks, close to number 500, number 480 right now in terms of market cap ranking at the time of this recording, with market cap that situates it at about $5.6 million. So it is up. It happens to be up 13.8%, likely in response to some of this news. But keep in mind that, with some of these lower cap projects, they tend to swing much more aggressively either to the upside or the downside given the news cycle. These guys are on our radar, and we've suggested in the past that maybe they should be on yours as well. Take a look at some of our previous videos for coverage of Pluton, but they've got some great things in the work right now. Here on medium.com, liquidity injection program. Here are the vote results. So last week, and this comes kind of from mid-September now, so a few weeks ago, they announced their most ambitious plans to date. 5 partnerships, increased liquidity via listings and sales, launch plans internationally, the pursuit of a banking license, and our full roadmap. These are monumental developments that would ensure Pluton is a liquid and highly demanded token across a range of platforms, both externally and within our internal peer-to-peer DEX. So in order to achieve all of these goals and the roadmap objectives, 2 million PLU tokens would have been relocated from the Pluton rewards pool to the Plutus Development Fund. And as a community-oriented company, and given the plans deviate from the original yellow paper, we wanted to make sure this was a decision our community and founding members entirely approved of before proceeding, and thus it was put to a vote. Having laid out the proposal for the liquidity injection program clearly, we then hosted an AMA Ask Me Anything to clarify any and all questions the community had, which can be found here. The link is available. We will also leave a summary FAQ of the questions asked at the bottom of this blog. Well, here are the results of the vote, where the currency, if you will, is 1 PLU is equivalent to 1 vote. The community has approved the decision to reallocate 2 million PLU from the Pluton rewards pool to the Plutus Development Fund. And here is the results of the vote. So 90% with 33,000, just over 33,000 votes were in favor of the reallocation. Again, 90% with 3,500 or 10% that were opposed. A very, very clear majority here. The results are now very clear. You guys can check out the rest of this article for the implications and the deep dive as to what it means as it relates and as it pertains to their marketing, their operations, their high impact features, and their additional features that are planned both for 2020 and in the years ahead, including 2021 and 2022, when, like I said earlier, they're going to be launching into some of those new markets, i.e. Asia and Latin America. Our very own Leia is very thrilled to be using the Plutus card. Here's what she had to say at Leia Halpern, by the way. Make sure you're following the handle on Twitter. I love this little card from Plutus. Been using it around the UK for the last few months. They're going international soon. Asia and Latin America. Here we come 2021. If you're interested, read more about it on medium.com. Learn about how you can avail yourselves as well of the Pluton card. Okay, let's now swing back to our website, altcoinbuzz.io, with news about Harmony, who are building trustless bridges to Bitcoin and to Ethereum. This article by Deepika. Harmony published its elaborate cross-chain and cross-exchange roadmap, which poses no custodial risks to the user. So Harmony, a fast and open blockchain for decentralized apps, is aiming to connect blockchain to all people and any economy. Recently, it revealed its cross-chain pool and cross-chain roadmap for the unification of blockchains. According to the roadmap, Harmony will use a groundbreaking method to build a trustless bridge for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance chains. And Harmony is doing very, very well in light of the news. They have a very positive reception here, and they are up 9% on the day in response to some of these developments. Again, market up now 1.8%. Harmony sitting at, I guess that's 0.0, okay, so 2 zeros. That's 0.5799 cents. Let's call it 0.56 pennies. Again, that is up 24% on the day. You can also read here on blog.wifilink.io. Wi-Fi Link awarded Harmony Grant for dApp scaling. More good news. We are pleased to announce our entry and successful admittance into the Harmony Grant program. We'll link to this, guys, below if you'd like to read about it more. And finally for today, let's end on some further good news. At Unibright IO here on Twitter, they had the following to announce: working on adoption for our universal blockchain token, hashtag enterprise, hashtag custody, hashtag blockchain, hashtag crypto, UBT, hashtag Ethereum, hashtag baseline protocol. They are quoting this here from Coinbase Custody. Let's take a look at this tweet in particular. At Coinbase Custody is the handle. Coinbase Custody now supports deposits and withdrawals for Unibright UBT, custody.coinbase.com. That is big news. Unibright on Coinbase Custody. Guys, there is sometimes more happening in this space than we can condense even into an hour-long video, but there it is. A lot is going on today. Let us know in the comments below what is the most, I suppose, encouraging or exciting development that we have covered today, in your opinion. Personally, I'm leaning a little bit more toward the partnership here, the affiliation between IOHK and the United Nations. That's a big one to me, especially since I think it's going to be publicized in sync with the 75th anniversary. But just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts about everything that we've discussed today in the comments below. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure, number one, you're following us on all the regular social media channels. Number two, keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Number three, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications if you guys have enjoyed today's video. Best of luck if you choose to invest on this Thursday. Stay safe out there, everybody, and as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.